Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Enduring Journey to Bliss. Thanks for stopping by and watching the video. Today I'm going to take this Joy Pothos plant out of the aquarium. I'm going to take a look at the roots, see how they're doing, and if I need to trim any back, I'll trim them. I want to see how they're doing. This has only been in the aquarium for almost a week, I think. Today is November 10th, and I put this in here, I believe, October 30th. So anyway, I want to take a look at the roots, trim any that may have rotted. This was previously grown in soil when I purchased it, so it is still transitioning to being in water full time. So I have brought this Joy Pothos into my kitchen area here so that I can work on it. I want to take a look at those roots and see if I need to remove any. And I'm going to spray my little cotton ball with some isopropyl alcohol, 70%. Then I will wipe down my Fisker clippers here in case I need to cut any roots or anything off. It's sanitized and ready to go. So I did add this little trellis, so it has something to climb up. I'll turn it around. You can see the trellis a little bit better. And I bought this off of Amazon. It's just a little plastic trellis. I also use this same type of trellis for some of my Hoyas and some of my other houseplants that I have. And as you can see with my little tag here, I actually purchased this particular plant in May 1st of 2025, and then I transitioned it from soil to water on October 31st, 2025. And again, this is a Joy Pothos. So I'll lay that over here. And for the plant to be in my aquarium, I have it in this little hanging pot. I also bought this on Amazon. It's a clear pot. I also do have some net pots that are black that I can use in the same manner. But for this one, I chose to use this particular pot. So we'll go ahead and take a look at it. It looks like there is some new growth right here. It still looks like it has a little bit of crispiness on that new baby leaf there on the side, but hopefully that's going to disappear the longer it's in the water. You can see it does have some beautiful variegation on it. Back in May, there were some things I had to take care of with family, and this plant got these crispy pieces to it during that time because I was not giving it proper care. I was focusing on other things. Here's another new growth opening. This one looks a bit healthier. I don't know if you can see that one. I don't see any crispiness on it. So the plant overall is not in too bad a shape. I have taken cuttings off of this and shared them with one of my daughters. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the trellis. It's just in there for support. And then I'm going to take the plant out of the pot so we can get a look at the root system and see if I need to remove any. Oh, we have a couple that were kind of clinging there, and that was actually rotted. It's soft, it's squishy. So that's what I'm going to look at. I'm going to look to see if these roots are beginning to get soft, if they're beginning to rot, pieces like that. Take those out. That's not really healthy for the plant or for the fish and the snails and the shrimp in the aquarium. So I'm going to remove some of that since I have this out. And anything that comes off easily like that, it's getting removed. And I will continue to do this over the next few months as this plant is transitioning from being in soil to being in water. Being grown as a hydroponic plant, essentially. And some of these feel really good. And then others, and that's what happens when you transition. It's just part of it, so you just have to be aware of it, and you have to pay attention and kind of do the maintenance like what I'm doing right now. Now this plant, when you grow it in an aquarium, you do not want any of the leaves in the water because the leaves can be toxic, especially if you have fish that like to chew on things in their aquarium. So you don't want the leaves, and you want minimal amount of stems because, again, if the fish are going to be chewing on it, taking nibbles of it, and like this stem right here, I'm going to go ahead and remove that because that, you see the discoloration? So I'll go ahead and I'll cut that off. If I come up there, cut that off, and that is gone. The roots do not have the toxicity that the leaves would have. There's another one during this transition. I'll cut that. So the leaves and the stems are what has the toxicity to them, not the roots. The roots actually help with the nitrates and the ammonia buildup that can happen in an aquarium. It's a very good symbiotic relationship. They help with filtering your tank water, keeps your water cleaner. Oh, that one tore off. That's okay. Keeps the aquarium a little bit healthier. I see some of my little duckweed has gotten in here a little bit. That is a floating plant that people will have in their aquariums. I got duckweed in my aquarium when I purchased some new residents for the aquarium. So I didn't purchase it, but it's in there, and I continually try to keep it out of my aquarium because it just grows and provides too much shade, I feel, especially since I do have a planted aquarium, because all those plants in the substrate of the aquarium, they all need light for their growth. So between the planted aquarium with the live plants in the substrate, and I do have floating lettuce, and all those plants help with your filtration of the ammonia and the nitrates like I mentioned. So I think this is probably pretty good. I'm going to give it a rinse before I put it back into its little container. I may leave it in water outside of my aquarium, take some aquarium water out for maybe a day or two, because I've made fresh cuts when I removed these bad stems, the bottom of them where they had discolored. So where I cut that from the plant, there's now a fresh wound. And I don't want to take any chance of my fish getting sick because there's an open wound on a stem, which could allow some of that toxicity to go into my aquarium. So I think this is pretty good for now. It's looking pretty nice. I will, like I said, rinse this, and then I will place it. Oh, there's another one. Again, this is kind of to be expected. You're transitioning a plant that was growing in soil into water culture. And that has new growth right there. No, I don't think that's new growth. That was another of my aquarium plants there, because they will shed some of their leaves in parts. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that off right there, because you don't want that staying in the aquarium, and it's not doing anything good for the aquarium or the plant. So there's an old crispy dead leaf that I must have missed before when I put it in there. Okay, so I think that is probably going to be about it. And I do like to have mine in a net pot or this little clear pot that I have mine in. I like to do this for my plants that are in the aquarium because it actually does help stop the fish from trying to eat a lot of the roots of the plant. Some fish will just nibble at anything and everything, and the roots do not have the same toxicity as the leaves and the stems, but I just don't want to take any chances. So my plan is to continue to monitor the roots and the growth, and I will trim like I did today. Now if I have small roots sticking out, as you can kind of see in a few places there are some roots kind of protruding a tad, that's fine. I don't necessarily want them to be all over the aquarium. Easy access for snails, fish, shrimp to nibble on. I'd rather err on the side of caution than causing any kind of health concerns for any of my aquarium inhabitants. So there's kind of a look at the plant. And like I mentioned, I'm going to kind of clean this up a little bit more, and then I'll set it in some water for a few days. Kind of let those cuts, fresh cuts, close up, and then I'll put it back in the aquarium proper. So it's beautiful, beautiful plant. I really do like the Enjoy. I love the variation on it, the variegation on it, and it's a climber. It likes bright indirect light. Normal temperature of your house is fine for it. And I don't bother with the fertilizing when it's in the aquarium, because I actually have liquid fertilizer that I use for my aquarium plants. So once I put that in the aquarium, of course the roots on this plant will pull up some of that nutrition as well. So there you go. I'll go ahead and we'll stop the video on this. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thanks for stopping by, and take care.